Welcome back to Energetically You, and welcome to Season 3. My name is Megan Swan, and I'm a wellness coach and consultant and the founder of Megan Swan Wellness and the Sustainable Integrated Wellness Approach. I am celebrating. This is very exciting for me entering in Season 3. This is technically the 108th episode of the podcast, and it's been, a learning journey that has brought me so many hidden gifts, and I think it really sort of threads beautifully into what I wanted to talk about today, opening the year with intentionality. So not just at the beginning of the year. What I wanted to share with you is just how powerful intentionality can be in terms of planning, in terms of really every single wellness tool that we can talk about, mindset practices, planning in our business, planning in our career, in our life. Ultimately, I think we are just not aware of how powerful we are as individuals and how powerful our thoughts are. And in turn, when we are more intentional about the energy we want to bring to a project or a practice, it really goes a long way in terms of bringing us next level benefits, or an added layer, if you will, of benefits. So if you don't already know, Energetically You is a podcast where we talk all things abundant mindset, optimal wellness, healthy habits, a little bit of entrepreneurship, and a lot of just inspiration and information on how you can have more sustainable energy and confidence from within. I truly believe that when you prioritize your own self-care and start taking dramatically better care of yourself, little by little, over time, it becomes this unshakable source of confidence and energy, clarity, and ultimately empowerment. I love that word. And so this episode, I'm just going to start off the season riffing just a little bit about intentionality, because, it is a time of year that normally we are setting intentions, and how likely we are to quote unquote stick with them really depends on, I would argue, our intentionality around setting them even. So are you looking for a quick fix? Is that the intention of a project you're going into, a new habit you're starting, a new challenge you signed up for? Or are you looking to learn something about yourself? Or are you looking for personal development, growth? Really being specific, and I would argue strategic about what we want to get out of an experience allows us to create that space ultimately to get different multiple layers of benefits out of a given experience. So without going much further, I'm going to give you some more tactical or tangible examples. So this year, let's say you want to set an intention of developing a mindful practice and sticking to it. So let's reverse engineer. Why do you want, have you been told that this is something you need for stress management? Have you tried it and liked it and just didn't keep it up, and you really want to figure out how you can thread it into your life so that it becomes, something that you stick with? And I would argue the goal is that it becomes a part of who you are, and it doesn't seem like a check mark on your to-do list anymore. Let's say that you're trying to develop a mindful practice. Let's say, just for the sake of the example, that you want to start meditating specifically, although, a breath work is where it is at for 2023. I love breath work, so powerful. And, might do a whole episode on breath work. Let me think. Who will I invite to talk about breath work? So let's go back to our intention is a mindful practice for 2023. How can we thread it into our lives strategically so it doesn't overwhelm us, so it doesn't, we don't set ourselves up for failure ultimately? And what is our intention? Is our intention because not only because somebody else told us we should do it. Our best friend meditates and it works for her. Is our intention to manage stress? Is our intention to recover from burnout? I would, let's be clear about our intentionality. And ultimately, if we can have a sort of more deep-rooted, authentic, holistic intention, it's a lot more likely to stick. So, with a mindful practice, probably there's no superficial reason other than maybe like keeping up with the Joneses on the wellness trends. But let's say that, you only want to start a meditation practice because somebody told you that, it's going to change your life. A, it might, but B, maybe setting a different, more authentic intention around that might set you up better for getting traction on this. And also, sidebar, all wellness practices require a little bit of trial and error, and understanding that not all wellness practices are for everyone. There is no one size fits all wellness. So if you try meditation and it doesn't stick and it doesn't work, you haven't failed. There's no failure in the wellness. It's simply not the wellness practice that is meant for you. So just being open-minded that, you can try it and decide that it's not for you. And that doesn't, it's not a reflection in any way, positive or negative, on you. So, but going back, for me personally, meditation has brought me more patience with my kids, more clarity, more clarity makes it easier for me to be more intentional throughout my day. Not only in like what I'm specifically working on, why I'm working on that, how do I want to feel and show up while I'm doing that thing, or, being interviewed or writing the blog post, or being present for our one-on-one client. Well, my intention ultimately boils down to my mission, which is to empower more humans through optimal wellness. So anytime that I'm operating from a place work specifically, and it's not really coming from that, it's coming because, I'm comparing myself to some other individual that's getting different results, or, has better branding, or, all the things, or, has already published multiple books and I'm still looking to publish, I've self-published 2 books, but like Real McCoy published my first. So just bringing a layer of self-awareness into our lives. And this is where you can find just deeper, more authentic intentionality in everything you do. And it is so powerful. It's not about doing more. It's about doing less and being more intentional. And so let's go back to our example. You want to start wellness practice, and it's going to be around a mindful practice, specifically meditation. Educating yourself. What is the nitty gritty benefit? How is it going to help you mentally, emotionally, physically? What are some of the tangible benefits that you can kind of look for in a curious scientist kind of way, that you can hope to receive or benefit from, and not just kind of go into it blind? Having a lot more information about what you're getting yourself into adds layers of intentionality around truly developing the practice. Now, maybe you want to put you want to be intentional around the timeline. I would argue that you want to ultimately have this stick. So it's not about doing it, really a lot of time for many days in a row at the beginning. That might work for you. Some people get a lot of information and benefit from sort of like start doing a challenge of something where you 21 days like go. Other people, it's, really intense and they don't want to sign up for that. They feel like they're going to fail, and so they don't. And it's just this ongoing cycle of not bothering. So why not just commit to 2 minutes, 90 seconds. Even Ariana Huffington talks about how you only need 90 seconds to complete the stress cycle, meaning like reset the central nervous system away from fight and flight and just take it down a notch. Okay, 90 seconds of breath work, of meditation, etc. So set yourself up for commitment, a level of discipline and structure that you can show up for and be realistic. And know that just because you're not completing, some expert's version of how many minutes a day you need to do something for it to be beneficial does not mean it's not beneficial. What we're working on is creating the habit, threading that habit with something else that you're already doing, such as waking up in the morning, brushing your teeth. Maybe the mindful practice will work better for you midday at the office. Maybe it'll work better for you right before bed. Like, figure out a way that it could be best strategically thread into your life so it becomes a part of your lifestyle and doesn't feel like this thing that you're constantly trying to remember to do. In the beginning, of course, of habit creation, it is a little bit about structure and, maybe have a reminder on your phone, but also there's days it doesn't happen, zero self-judgment, just move on. And the next day with good intentions, try and get back to implementing this practice. So I would argue some great intentionality around developing a mindful practice in 2023 could be, deeper presence in my everyday life, extending my ability to respond instead of react, having more patience for myself and my family, maybe my coworkers, long-term longevity, mental health, so I think having some micro close term or short term and then macro long-term perspective and goals in terms of your intentionality can really be beneficial, not just the immediate, or, maybe you're a person that just likes to focus on one intention, and that can be extremely powerful as well. So I will leave you with that. I am an open book. Anytime you want support about anything that I talk about on the podcast, just slide into my DMs, either on LinkedIn or in Instagram. I'm pretty much there daily on both platforms. They're kind of my jam. And I absolutely love workshopping with people in the DMs, some tips and tricks on how to get, holistic wellness practices strategically thread into their lives so it becomes a part of who they are and not a check mark on their to-do list, because ultimately that is how it becomes sustainable, completely integrated, and it's the ripple effect. Once you get one, you bring in another and another, but it's not about having endless layering of practices. It's really about minimizing, knowing the ones that really serve you, threading them in strategically, and then, tuning out the rest of the noise in the industry and not feeling like you're failing at not starting. It's all of the ever increasing wellness practices. So I hope that was informative. I hope it was a little burst of 2023 energy, inspiration, intentionality. I am so excited for this year. I really feel like it's going to be my year on a lot of fronts. And yes, enjoy the next couple of weeks. I already have them locked and loaded. Some incredible women, some of them my mentors, some of them people that I just, highly, highly respect for other reasons. They're all women that are unapologetically doing themselves and doing it well. So that is the vibe. The 2023 vibe is do you, do it unapologetically, bring more intentionality into your life. And if you don't already have a mindful practice, that is an amazing place to start, but it might not be the most important for you. So again, reach out if you need help or inspiration on how to get started personally. And I'm all ears. So from me to you, I'm sending you the biggest virtual hug and burst of 2023 good vibes and energy. And can't wait. I'm here for it all. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. I would be really appreciative if you feel so called to support the show by either subscribing to the show on your favorite podcast platform, leaving us a review, and passing this episode or another favorite episode on to a friend. I hope you have a beautiful week wherever you are in the world. Sending you my love.